Discussion Powerful topics. Reaction from people around the world.
Feel good with Joe.
Hello. Salamat sa inyong palakpak. Kumusta na ang ating mga kababayan? Saan man kayo panig ng mundo? Ito po ang inyong lingkod. Feel good with Joe Arcaya. Ang tatalakayin po natin ngayon ay tungkol sa mga kakandidato sa halalang 2022 dyan sa Pilipinas. Pinagtiyagaan po nating ihanda ito para sa inyo dahil ito lang po yung aking maibabahagi para magkaroon kayo ng idea na makilala kung sino-sino yung mga tumatakbong presidente, vice president, at senatorial candidates. Alam ko pong yung ibang mga kandidato ay sikat na at hindi na kailangang ipakilala. Subalit may mga kandidato pong may mga masasabi nating may ibubuga na hindi masyadong kilala. Kaya yan po yung ating tatalakayin ngayon para maging kapaki-pakinabang yung mga impormasyon na pwede ninyong magamit para pumili ng inyong magiging kandidato sa pagka-pangulo, pagka-vice-presidente at mga senatorial candidates. Kasi nangyayari po dyan sa atin ay kung sino lang yung kilala, ay yun lang yung by popularity yung ginagawa nating pagpili ng ating mga kandidato dyan sa Pilipinas. So, simulan natin sa presidente at sa susunod na episode ay yung vice president naman at yung mga senatorial candidates ay hahatiin natin. Sobrang dami. Mayroon tayong ilan ba yung presidente natin? Siyam? Bilangin natin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Abay, 10. 10 yung nandyan sa listahan ng COMELEC. So ito yung mga presidente ito po yung makikita ninyo sa website ng Filipino World Channel at pwede ninyong puntahan sa filipinoworldchannel.com. So, ang unang nasa listahan natin ay si Abelia Ernesto. So, sino nga ba ito si Abelia Ernesto? Ito po'y tumatakbong independent at naging Undersecretary for Strategic Communications and Research ng Department of Foreign Affairs itong si Abella. So ayon dito sa kanyang background, of course, he is Filipino. Ang tawag sa kanya ay Ernesto Ernie Corpus Abella. Isang Filipino businessman, writer, and a former evangelist who served in President Rodrigo Duterte's administration as a presidential spokesperson. Yan po ay noong 2016 at hanggang 2017. At ang naging Undersecretary for Strategic and Communication and Research nga noong 2017 hanggang 2021. Yung kanyang education background, si Abella po ay nagtapos ng high school dyan sa Ateneo de Davao University noong 1964. At noong 1968 naman ay gumraduate siya ng BA in Pre-Medicine for the same university. Dyan din sa Ateneo de Davao University. At noong 1980, he pursued his postgraduate studies sa Silliman University. Diyan yan sa Dumaguete, where he graduated with a master's degree in divinity in 1984. So he also earned a master's degree in social development from the Asian Institute of Management noong 2005. Ayan At yung career ni Abella ay nagsimula sa advertising. He served as a creative director for Ad Formatics in Makati between 1975 and 1977. So he also a board member of the Philippine Council of Evangelical Churches and the Koinonia Theological Seminary. So he became a preacher in Davao for several years until his abduction by ethnic bandits. Nakidnap in 1996. So in a meeting with the media reporters following his appointment as a presidential spokesperson, he narrated how then Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte negotiated for his release within 24 hours. So it was then when he started following Duterte and even activity campaign for him in the last election through his writings. Ayan, si Abella din ay nakalagay dito, Abella returned to secular life in 2002 and pursued a career in agri-business. So he served as Chief Executive Officer of AZ Agri Products and as a Chief Operating Officer of FNP Agri Inputs. So he also established his own businesses, One Accord Credit Cooperative and South Point School in Davao City. Ayan ha. So yung kanyang background mga kababayan ay makikita nyo din sa website ng Philippine World Channel. Alright, ang susunod naman nating kikilalanin ay itong aktivista to si De Guzman Leody. Alright, so sino nga ba itong si De Guzman? Ito isa sa mga pinopromote ng nakikita ko pag alam mo itong ABS-CBN. Ito yung isa sa mga binibigyan nila ng airtime. So sino nga ba itong si Leody? Pinapakilala ito, madalas bigyan din ng airtime ito sa TV Patrol. Kaya medyo kilala nyo na ito. Itong mga hindi nabibigyan masyado ng pansin ayun na yung unang-una natin si Ernesto Abella. Ito naman si Leody, mga kababayan, at kung yung ang tawag sa kanya ay Leodegario Calyodi Kitain de Guzman. Mahaba yung pangalan ni Leody. Ito po yung taga Nahuan Oriental, Mindoro. So pinanganak po siya noong July 25, 1959. So ang early life niya ay si De Guzman ay naging involved in activism in the aftermath of the assassination of popular anti-Marcos figure Benigno Aquino Jr. May mga anti-Marcos So, anti-Marcos opposition protests that followed. Kaya pala nabibigyan ng airtime sa ABS-CBN. Si mga anti-Marcos pala. So, he joined the Tarlac to Tarmac march as well as other protests. So he lead the Artist Philippine branch of the nascent Justice for Aquino, Justice for All, Jaja movement. Si De Guzman po was elected to the Regional Executive Council of the Militant Labor Federation o Kilusang Mayuno noong 1991. So however, because of increasing differences between KMU and CR and KMU national leadership, De Guzman joined other workers in forming Alternative Labor Federation. So the Bukluran ng Manggagawang Pilipino, BMP. Alongside labor leaders such as Romy Castillo. Ayun yung mga naging kasama niya, si Popoy Lagman, Victor Briz. Noong 1996, he was elected as General Secretary serving until 2005 when he became President of BMP until 2018. Yan yung background ni De Guzman. So in 2016, congressional bid. In 2016 Philippine House of Representatives party list election, De Guzman participated in the legislative race as the first nominee of San Lakas party list. San Lakas did not win any seats. So nung 2019 Senate bid, in the 2019 Senate election, De Guzman ran as senator under Partido Lakas ng Masa on a platform of ending contractualization as well as the Mining Act of 1995. So De Guzman formed the pro-worker labor win coalition for the election with Neri Colmenares of Bayan Muna. Yan na. Sani Matula of the Workers' Party. Independent Alan Montaño. So yung mga kasamahan niya. So nung ngayon, itong 2022, yun nga, presidential campaign. So ano pa bang yan dito, background? So, ang education niya dito ay PMI College nakalagay dito. So, si De Guzman is also currently a member of the Board of Trustees of Human Rights, non-governmental organization Phil Rights and Bulig Visayas. So, during the impeachment trial of Estrada and subsequent EDSA II, BMP and Sanlakas called for all elected officials to resign to pave the way for the overhaul of the country's political system. The federation was also active against measures of later governments such as the 2006 state of emergency under the Arroyo administration and the war on drugs of the Duterte administration. Ano ba bang nagawa nitong si Calyodi? So, yan po yung mayroon lang dito. Inaalam natin kung ano pa yung background ni Calyodi. So, yan lang po yung ating may bibigay tungkol kay Calyodi. So, kung wala na tayong Alright, yan. Malagay naman ito. He finished his Bachelor of Science in Customs Administration degree at the Philippine Maritime Institute, ayun pala yung PMI, and entered work at the leather gloves factory of Aris Philippines Inc. to support his family. Yan po yung background ni Calyodi de Guzman, ha? Alright, ang susunod natin ay alphabetical po ito base dun sa listahan ng COMELEC. Alright, ang susunod ay itong si Isko Moreno, ha? Hindi na hindi na pakilala to eh. Pero alamin din natin yung yung background niya. So, pangatlong presidentiables si Domagoso Isko Moreno. Ayan, So si Francisco Moreno Domagoso po ay pinanganak noong October 24, 1974, also known by his name, stage name Isko Moreno. So siya po ay pang 22nd mayor ng Manila since 2019 ito po ay naging vice mayor. Eksperyensado po itong bilang mambabatas din sa lokal na pamahalaan ng Manila, City of Manila. Siya po ay naging aktor sa telebisyon at naging councilor at was elected for three consecutive terms noong 2007. Tapos tumakbo po itong si Isko bilang vice mayor ng Manila at and was elected for 3 consecutive terms in 2016. He was term limited as vice mayor and successfully ran for senator in 2016 senatorial election. So he placed 16 out of 50 candidates. Hindi na masama yun. And then served in the Duterte cabinet as social welfare undersecretary for a few months in 2018 before running and being elected mayor of Manila in landslide victory against his former allies. Joseph Estrada and Alfredo Lim in 2019 local election. So si Moreno has described his leadership style as akin to that of his predecessor Alfredo Lim. Yan, citing their shared commitment in reducing crime and maintaining cleanliness of the capital. So si Moreno is also noted for his streetwise public image due to his use of colorful language coupled with Manila street slang. Yan, mahilig to sa mga kumbaga tawag sa kanya yorme, yung mga salitang Manileño. So ito po si Moreno ay tingnan na yung education. So ito po si Moreno ay nag-aral ng yung kanyang higher education. Nakalagay dito, Moreno studied public administration at the University of Manila, University of the City of Manila, and enrolled in non-degree programs at the University of the Philippines, the Harvard Kennedy School, and said Business School. Said. Malabo eh. So, ano po ba? So, yan po yung background suma total masasabi natin ay itong si Isko Moreno ay may maraming karanasan sa politika. Actually, kahit hindi mo na ipakilala ito, kilalang kilala ng taong bayan. So, ang susunod naman natin ay pang-apat na kandidato natin ay si Gonzales Norberto. Ito'y kilala din pero hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng airtime sa mga kilalang istasyon. Ito si Norberto Borja Gonzales po ay pang 36th Secretary of the Department of the National Defense of the Philippines under the administration of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So his term covered from June 2009 until June 2010. So earlier, he served as Arroyo's Presidential Chief of Staff noong August 2004 hanggang February 2005. So before being promoted as a National Security Advisor and Director General of the National Security Council, ayan si Secretary Gonzales, Norberto Gonzales, ay pinanganak noong saan ba to? Pinanganak sa Rivas, Puerto Rivas on April 7, 1947. No? So ito po he was the class valedictorian when he graduated at the Maximo de los Reyes Memorial Elementary School. Pero walang nakalagay kung anong education ni baka low profile itong si Norberto Gonzales. So ito po yung kanyang hinahanap ko yung education background ni Secretary Gonzales nakalagay lang dito yung foundation. Gonzales completed Gonzales completed pre-medicine medicine course in Ateneo de Davao during the second term of President Ferdinand Marcos. Gonzales joined the burgeoning anti-government protest. The protest movement he co-organized became the kilusan ng mga demokratikong sosyalista ng Pilipinas, which later became the Partido Demokratiko Sosyalista ng Pilipinas o PDSP. PDSP worked together with the Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF to help overthrow Marcos. Once Marcos was ousted, his successor Corazon Aquino appointed him as a negotiator to the MNLF. 2 years later, a peace agreement was signed between the government and the MNLF. Decade later, Gonzales was appointed presidential advisor for special concern and presidential chief of staff by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So, si Gonzales was appointed as National Security Advisor noong February 2005 until his appointment as the Defense Chief in July 2007. So, he briefly served for a month and was replaced by Gilbert Teodoro. So, yun po yung background ni Norberto Gonzales. Secretary Norberto Gonzales, kung saan ay isa sa mga presidentiable po natin ngayon. Ha? So, si Gonzales is a chairman and official nominee of the president for president in the 2022 election of the Philippine Democratic Socialist Party. Ayan ha. So, he also wants the Department of Agriculture to be reformed. Ayun po yung kanyang isa sa mga plataforma. He also wants the Department of Agriculture to be reformed and asserted that food production will be his priority if elected. So, he mentioned President Rodrigo Duterte's weak COVID-19 response as one of the main reason why he ran for president. Ibang dating. Alright, so yun po yung kanyang dahilan. Ayun yung nakasulat dito sa mga backgrounder. Right. So, ang susunod na ating kilalanin ay itong si... Ito, kilala na rin ito. Kilala na rin ito. Si Senator Ping Lacson. Ayan. Ito ay isa sa mga binabanata ni Lenny. Ginang Lenny. Ginang Lenny na kulang daw sa on the ground. Ito si Ginang Lenny. Okay, si Senator Ping Lacson ay ito po bago po ang lahat gusto pong pasalamatan to si Senator Ping Lacson dahil nung huling segue lang po ako saglit ha. Dahil nung ako'y nung 2008 yung huling taon ko sa ABS-CBN bilang researcher ng mga anchors dyan sila Corina, Ted and sila Kabayan, marami programa na pang-umaga dyan dati sa DZMM. Itong si Senator Lacson kapag siyempre yung mga researcher ng iba-ibang istasyon ay sila yung unang nakikipag-usap dyan sa mga i-interviewin ng mga anchors. So ito si Senator Lacson siyempre kapag mga ikay nasa media sa atin minsan kapag birthday mo magtataka ka may mga regalo may regalo sa akin ni Senator Lacson yung tela Hindi ko makalimutan eh. Tela, yung tinatahi para gawing Amerikana. Yan, salamat po, Senator Lacson. Joe Arcaya po. Joseph Arcaya. So, ito po si Senator Lacson ay ako yung tatanungin ninyo, no? Isa rin sa mga pwedeng pagpilian, no? Basahin natin tong background niya. Actually, maraming nagawang batas itong si Senator Lacson, no? Panfilo Ping Morena Lacson Sr. Was born on June 1, 1948. Siya po ay Filipino politician and former police general serving as a senator since 2016 and previously from 2001 to 2013 he was the Director General of the Philippine National Police from 1999 to 2001 and was candidate in the 2004 presidential election. So during the tenure as the chief of the PNP, he was known for instituting various reforms within the organization. So his high approval rating and high-profile anti-corruption campaigns paved the way for his Senate bid in 2001. Where he won and placed 10th in the elections. So he would later ran for the presidency in 2004 but lost after his failed campaign. Lacson continued his term. He would be re-elected in 2007. So after his first term in the Senate, Lacson was appointed by then President Benigno Aquino III as Presidential Assistant for Rehabilitation of Recovery in December 2013. So he led the management and rehabilitation effort of the central provinces in the Philippines affected by the Typhoon Yolanda. So when he initially planned to run for president again in 2016, he opted to run for a Senate seat in the 2016 election instead. Yan. He won, ranking 4th in the election. Lacson is running in the 2022 presidential election. Sa darating na Mayo yan. So, under the Partido para sa Demokratikong Reforma. So, yung early life po on the education ni Senator Lacson ay pinanganak po siya sa Imus, Cavite noong June 1, 1948. So, his late mother, Maxima, a market vendor, was a disciplinarian who instilled distinction between right and wrong with her children. So he finished grade school at the Bayang Luma Elementary School in 1960 and high school at the Imos Institute in 1964. And Lacson initially wanted to be an agent of the National Bureau of Investigation. He was invited by the classmate to take the entrance exam of the Philippine Military Academy. So Lacson passed, but the classmate who invited him did not. May intriga pa dun. So after his graduation from the PMA in 1971, Lacson was commissioned in the Philippine Constabulary, then a major service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, responsible for maintaining peace and order and enforcement of laws in the country. So in 1996, he earned a postgraduate degree of Master in Government Management from the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. So meanwhile, Lacson advocacy against the pork barrel system and the corruption associated with him was cited by the pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila when it confirmed on him the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa on March 27, 2019. Ayan na. So, ang maganda rin tong background ni Senator Lacson. Dami pong accomplishment nitong si Senator Lacson, anti-kidnapping and no-take policy, when serving the Philippine Constabulary, anti-wetland campaign, the PAOK TF in 1998, 2001, PNP Chief Reform and Cotton Cups 1999 to 2001, yung Kuratong Baleleng case, the Sir Corbito murder case. As yung kanyang Lacson was appointed by the President Joseph Estrada to head the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Task Force o PAOK-TF. Ang daming accomplishment nito si Senator Lacson. Ang dami. Mga Senate bill niya Senate Bill 24 which encourages people participation and deliberation of the national budget to prevent pork. Ayan, Senate Bill 25 which requires registration of prepaid SIM card to prevent scams and crimes involving identity theft. Senate Bill 26 which excludes government employees, including the President, from protection of the Philippine Bank Secrecy Act. Senate Bill 253 upgrading the benefits and the incentives of barangay tanods. Ang daming nagawa nito si Senator Lacson. Hindi ko maisip kung bakit nabanggit ni Ginang Lenny na kulang sa on the ground. Bakit kaya? So, ang susunod nating titingnan na itong isa pang candidate, si Faisal Mangundato, presidentiables natin na yan, na hindi rin nabibigyan ng pansin masyado. So ito po si Mangundato Faisal ay ang kanya ano bang mga nakalagay dito. Tingnan nga natin, silipin natin. Affiliation niya ay Deputy Chairman ng ARMM, Katipunan Party, Senior Asian Social Journalist, Freelancers International, member ng Kamalayang Pinoy Movement, member ng Katipunan ng Kamalayang Kayumanggi, ang kanyang residence sa Marawi City, Lanao del Sur. policy focus on federalism, creation of Bangsamoro, clean environment, and implementation of RA 903, rehabilitation of Marawi City. So wala tayo masyado makita tungkol dito kay Faisal. So ang nakalagay dito ay profession or occupation is businessman. At wala masyado tayong nakikitang backgrounder nitong si Faisal. Ayun, kung matisod man ng programang ito na dinidiscuss natin, no? Ginoong Faisal, welcome kang mag-air dito sa aming channel, sa programa ko. Wala pong bayad dito, ha. Ito po ay para sa interes ng mamamayang Pilipino. Kaya so yan lang pong meron tayo. Puntahan nyo sa filipinoworldchannel.com. Ayan si Faisal Mangundato, isa sa mga presidentiables po natin yan. Okay, ang susunod naman natin ay si Ginoong Bongbong Marcos. Ito ay sikat na sikat Sinong hindi sisikat ang tatay niya ay naging dating presidente. Isa sa mga magaling na presidente na pilit ibinabagsak na mga kalaban. Mamaya talakayin natin yung yung mga kung paano ba mamili ng presidente, or politician na tumatakbo ngayon. Paano natin kikilitisin? Ito po si Ginoong Bongbong Marcos ay pinanganak noong September 13, 1957. Hindi na natin kailangan ipakilala to Kilalang-kilala na ito So, of course, early life and education. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., nicknamed Bongbong, was born in September 13, 1957. Ang anak ni Ginoong Ferdinand Marcos Sr. So Marcos first studied at the Institution Teresiana and La Salle Green Hills in Manila, where he obtained his kindergarten and elementary education repetitively in 1970. Marcos was sent to England, where he lived and studied at the Worth School and all-boys Benedictine institution. He then enrolled at St. Edmund Hall, Oxford, to study politics, philosophy, and economics. Yan yung kanyang educational background. However, despite his false claims that he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in PPE, he did not obtain such a degree. Marcos had passed philosophy, but failed economics and failed politics twice, thus making him ineligible for a degree. So instead, he received a special diploma in social studies, so which is an award to be taken mainly by the non-graduates according to British Academy Administrator Sir Norman Chester. So after the People Power Revolution, the Presidential Commission on Good Government found that Marcos' tuition, 10,000 monthly allowance, US dollar yun at the estate he lived in while studying at Wharton, were paid for using funds that could be traced partly to the intelligence fund of the Office of the President and partly to some of the 15 bank accounts that Marcoses had secretly opened in the United States under fake names. Aba, may intriga tong ano dito. Sino ba nagsulat nito? Sino kaya nagsulat nito? Ano? Maawa naman tong si Bongbong Marcos. May iba dyan kaya tumakbo para magiganti. Hindi yata maganda yung pakinggan niya. Kaya tumatakbo dahil anti-Marcos. Ganun ba? Hindi dapat pag tumatakbo ka dapat kaya ka tumatakbo dahil mayroon kang plataforma. Hindi ka tumatakbo para ibagsak yung ibang kalaban. Yan isa sa mga titingnan nyo mga kabayan. Bakit tumatakbo yung isang politiko? So si Bongbong po ay yung kanyang first formal role in political office came with his election as Vice Governor of Ilocos Norte noong 1980 hanggang 1983. At the young age of 23, in 1983 he led a group of young Filipino leaders on a 10-day diplomatic mission to China to mark the 10th anniversary of the Philippine-Chinese relations. So Marcos became the governor of Ilocos Norte from Norte. Ano nangyari? Ilocos Norte. Ano ba yan? So, noong 1983 until the People Power Revolution 1986 which ousted his family from power. He then lived in political exile with his family in Hawaii, United States. 1986 People Power Revolution. Itong yan yung questionable na revolution. Sorry pero yan yung opinion ko lang to, no? Yan yung nakikita ko, yung 1986 People Power Revolution na biro mo, no? Ang isang presidente na hinalal at di ba nagkagulo kaya nag-martial law kasi may nanggugulo. Ha? Ayun ko kung paano natin titingnan yun, di ba? Sedisyon yung kapag ikay nangunguna para pabagsakin ang pamahalaan ng Pilipinas, hindi ba ay tawag doon ay sedisyon? Tapos People Power Revolution. Yung iilan. Ewan ko. Kaya nangyari. Ano nangyari nung after 1986? Guminhawa ba ang buhay natin? Guminhawa ba? Hindi ba't maginhawa na noon? Ginugulo lang, may nanggugulo. Ang hangarin ay ewan ko. Ganun tayo, no? May uupong presidente at may nakikita kang kaunlaran. May nakikita ka rin naghahatak pababa. So, nangyari noong People Power Revolution. Isang revolusyon na kini-question. Yan yung revolusyon laban sa Pilipino, kapwa Pilipino. Ay, nako. So, ayan po. So, meron ding binabanggit dito na napanood ko yung interview ni Mel Chanco yata, doon kay Imelda Marcos, na ang Pilipinas ay nakaupo sa ginto. Kung mananalo kaya itong si Bongbong Marcos, lalabas kaya yung mga sinasabi ni Imelda na ginto. Sabi kapag nanalo, wala namang sinabi, no? Sinabi lang doon sa interview ni Mel Chanco, sabi ni Imelda na kayang buhayin ng gintong yun ang buong Pilipinas. Ay, nako, sana. Kung mananalo kaya si Bongbong, mangyayari kaya yun. Tingnan natin. So, ito si Bongbong, din na natin kailan na ipikilala ito. Kilala na ito. Ang napapansin ko lang dito, comment lang tayo. Itong si Bongbong Marcos, madalas banatan ito ni Ginang Leni, no? At ang kaibahan lang, si Marcos hindi masyadong, wala kang maririnig masyado na yung nagbibitiw siya ng salita laban sa isang kandidato. Bagay, dapat ganyan, no? Plataforma lang yung pag-usapan. Huwag ka nang mag-comment doon sa ibang tumatakbong presidente, dahil kapag nag-comment ka, reflection yun ng pagkatao mo. Galang-galang lang, konting galang, no? Ginang Leni. Ginang Leni. So, ang susunod na presidentiable natin ay si Montemayor Jose o Jr. or Jose Montemayor Jr. Ito Ito hindi masyadong nabibigyan din ng airtime ng mga ng ABS-CBN or ng GMA o mga kilalang dahil baka walang budget. Pero itong mamang ito alam nyo ba doktor at saka abogado ito. So yung kanyang background alamin natin, tingnan natin. Tapos si Jose Cabrera Montemayor, napakadaming nito. Doctor of Medicine, cardiologist, economist, medical technologist, lawyer, consultant, educator, lecturer, civic leader. So ito po ay past president and member of board of trustees noong 2010 hanggang 2012 ng Philippine Society of Cardiac Catheterization and Intervention, consultant in clinical cardiology and interventional cardiology sa St. Luke's Medical Center, National Kidney Institute, Philippine Heart Center. Consultant in internal medicine and clinical cardiology, National Kidney and Transplant Institute, Professor of Law, San Sebastian College, University of Manila, Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Professor pala ito Philippine Christian University, University of the Philippines, New Era University. Yung mga background, no? Interview nga natin si Montemayor. Yung mga kababayan, no? Kung mamimili kayo, punta lang kayo sa filipinoworldchannel.com. Tingnan niyo yung mga background ng mga tumatakbong presidente. Hindi lang basta lawyer, no? May background din ito sa medisina. As member ng Legislation Committee, Philippine College Office Physician, Associate Editor, Philippine Journal of Internal Medicine. Hindi itong mga credential ni si Jose Cabrera Montemayor. Tapat natin kay Pacquiao ito. Huwag niyo malitin si Pacquiao, maraming nagawa din yan. Maraming natalo yan. Maraming natalo. Marami ding natulungan. Nagpapasaya lang po. Galang natin lahat ng tumatakbong presidentiables. Lalo na si Ginang Lenny. So yung previous professional position, past president and member of board of trustees, Philippine Society of Cardiac. Dami ring nagawa ito daming background nitong si Jose Cabrera Montemayor, Parang siguro kung nabigyan seat ito sa Senado ang dami rin nagawa nito, parang si Senator Lacson. Legal officer, naging legal officer ito ng Philippine Heart Center. Professor, Advanced Managerial Economics sa San Beda College. Vice President, Philippine Association of Government Corporate Lawyers. Matindi itong background ni Jose Montemayor. Yan ang bang presidentiable? Mga kababayan, huwag niyong baliwalain itong background ni Jose Montemayor. Pwede niyong kung kayo nagsasawa na dun sa mga ibang politician, bakit hindi yung subukan itong mga magagaling? Actually, maraming magagaling nadadaan lang sa popularity, no? But di natin bigyan ng pagkakataon itong si Jose Montemayor, isang doktor, abogado, educator, isang ka pa. Nakatiyak tayong na yung kanyang background ay hindi basta-basta. Ito naman si next presidentiable natin, walang iba kundi si Manny Pacquiao. It's ready to rumble. Ito ay si Ginoong Manny Pacquiao. Ito po yung of course, no, alam natin na magaling to, magaling sumuntok, yun yung kanyang kinayaman, ang kanyang pagbo-boxing. Pero ito'y nag-aral din ng political science. So, ang kanyang tunay na pangalan ay Emmanuel Dapidran Pacquiao Sr., born December 17, 1978, is a Filipino politician and former professional boxer, nicknamed Pac-Man. He is regarded as one of the greatest professional boxer of all time. Ano kayang mangyayari sa Pilipinas kapag nanalo to si Pacquiao? Marami siyang binabanggit na strategy. So, hindi mo na pakilala to si Pacquiao kasi kilalang kilala na ito ng ating mga kababayan. Pero ang hindi pa natin kilala ay yung kanyang kapasidad bilang kung mananalo siyang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Pero yung kanyang, tingnan natin yung kanyang nagawa sa Senado. Ito yung political career niya. Kasi nakalagay dito National Amateur Boxing, Manny Pacquiao, alam na natin yan. Basketball career, April 17, 2014. Ang nakalagay dito, Pacquiao, a lifelong passionate basketball fan, announced his intention to join the Philippine Basketball Association as the playing coach of Kia Motors basketball team. Yung political career niya sa House of Representatives noong February 12, 2007, Pacquiao announced his campaign for a seat in the Philippine House of Representatives to represent the 1st District of South Cotabato Province. So, running as a candidate of the Liberal Party faction under Manila Mayor Lito Atienza. So, Pacquiao was defeated in the election by incumbent Representative Darlene Antonio Custodio of the Nationalist People Coalition. So, noong November 21, 2009, Pacquiao announced that he would run again for a congressional seat but this time in Sarangani province, the hometown of his wife Jinky. Yan, in May 2010, Pacquiao was elected to the House of the Representative in the 15th Congress of the Philippines, representing the province of Sarangani. So he scored a landslide victory over the wealthy and politically well-entrenched Chongbian clan that had been in power in the province for more than 30 years. So Pacquiao got 120,052 votes, while his opponent for the seat, Roy Chongbian, got 60,000. Malahati ah. So in 2013, he was re-elected of the 16th Congress of the Philippines. He ran and opposed. So si Jinky naman ay was elected as Vice Governor of Sarangani, while his younger brother Rogelio was defeated by incumbent yan, mga ano na yan. So Senate on October 5, 2015, Pacquiao was formally declared that he was running for senator under United Nationalist Alliance or UNA party of Vice President Jojo Marbinay. So on May 19, 2016, Pacquiao was formally elected as a senator by the Commission on Election. Pacquiao garnered over 16 million votes, landing 7th among 12 new members of the Senate. So as a senator, he notably aligned himself with the Duterte government. So facilitating September 18, 2016, the ouster of Laila de Lima from the chairmanship of the Senate Justice Committee, and criticized de Lima's presentation on the September 21 of the same year of an alleged member of the Davao death squad. So he has been vocal about the de Lima's alleged links with purported drug lord Kerwin Espinosa, an allegation that led to the de Lima's arrest and detention. Ayan yung kaso ni Laila de Lima. So noong 2018, Pacquiao was filed a total of 31 Senate bills during the 17th Congress, and in a bill filed alongside with Bato de la Rosa and Bongo, he backed the return of the capital punishment into the lexicon of Philippine criminal law. So ito po si Senator Manny Pacquiao, naging chair po siya ng Senate Committee on Sports, kung saan isa sa mga diniscuss dito yung proposal na pagkakaroon ng para makapag-establish ng Philippine Boxing Commission. So ngayon nga si Pacquiao ay tumatakbo ng bilang presidential bid itong darating na May 9 election, Itong background ni Pacquiao, acting and hosting career, music career. So ito do sa mga mga controversies na taxation issues on November 26, 2013. A few days after Pacquiao's victory over Brandon Reyes, the Philippine Bureau of Internal Revenue issued a freeze order on all Pacquiao's Philippine bank account due to his alleged failure to pay the 2.2 billion in taxes for earnings he made in his fight in the United States from 2008 to 2009. A day after the bank account freeze, the BIR also issued an order to freeze all of Pacquiao's Philippine properties, whereupon Pacquiao's presented document to the press showing the income tax for non-residential alien payment by his promoter to the BIR's U.S. counterpart in the Internal Revenue Service or IRS, as well as letter from Bob Aaron. In April 2007, Pacquiao, now senator, approached Philippine authorities in an attempt to settle the case. The BIR had maintained that taxes were due even if all taxes had been paid to the IRS in the first place. Ano na kaya nangyari dito? So on June 25, 2010, Pacquiao completed a 10-day crash course on development, legislation, and governance of the Graduate School of Public and Development Management of the Development Academy of the Philippines. Pacquiao was officially enrolled for 2 semesters for Notre Dame and the Diagas University in the academic year 2007-2008 under the bachelor's degree of business administration, major in marketing management program. However, Pacquiao was not able to finish the program, and NDDU did not grant him a college degree. So in February 28, 2009, Pacquiao received his Doctorate of Humanities from Southwestern University. The Commission on Higher Education accorded the award for his contribution in sports and humanitarian efforts. Pacquiao is among the boxers who were given honorary doctorates with the likes of Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Mike Tyson. Ayos yun na. On December 11, 2019, Pacquiao graduated from University of Makati with a bachelor's degree in political science, majoring in local government administration through the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program of the Philippine Councilors League Legislative Academy, which allows qualified Filipinos to complete a collegiate level education via informal education system. Ayos yun. Pang-boxing talaga. No? Pero siyempre, no? At least ginagawa ng paraan na makapag-graduate. That's a fight, eh? So, yung religion naman, raised Catholic. Pacquiao is currently practicing and preaching evangelical Protestantism. Pacquiao said he once had a dream where he saw a pair of angels and heard the voice of God. This dream convinced him to become a devoted believer. Ayan, yan po yung background na nakalagay dito kay Senator Manny Pacquiao. So ito na tayo sa pang-final na presidentiable. Walang iba kundi ang dating dilaw na naging pink, si Lenny Robredo. So nakalagay dito independent, no? Kaya naging independent to, eh. May liberal naman, di ba? Bakit kaya independent? Bakit kaya? So, itong si di natin na kakaila, itong si Leni Robredo ay isa ring lawyer, politician at saka social activist. So, siya po ang ating Vice President sa kasalukuyan. Yung kanyang early education ay pinanganak po siya noong April 23, 1965 sa Naga, Camarines Sur. She was the first of 3 children born to Naga City Regional Trial Court Judge Antonio Herona. Judge yung kanyang tatay. So si Lenny po ay nagtapos ng attended the Basic Education Department of University di Isabel sa Naga. Graduating from elementary school in 1978 and from high school in 1982, she earned her degree in economics from the University of the Philippines, Diliman in 1986, and proceeded to study law at the University of Nueva Caceres, graduating in 1992. So she passed the bar exam in 1997. Hindi itong mga kalaban ni Pacquiao, mga abogado. Alright, so itong si Ginang Leni Robredo ay naging coordinator po siya ng sentro ng alternatibong lingap panligan o saligan, nakabase sa Naga-based alternative legal support group. So aim to encourage young legal professionals to take on leadership roles and involve visiting distant rural communities to provide legal service to residents who would otherwise have little or no access to such services, as well as conducting legal advocacy by proposing amendments and new laws based on the needs of these marginalized communities. Later, the group focus shifted to include helping rural women to acquire capital in order to participate in competitive markets. So in addition, founded the Lakas ng kababaihan ng Naga Federation on organization that provides training and livelihood opportunities for women. In 1989, in 2012, Robredo was named the chairperson of the Liberal Party in Camarines Sur. Masipag tong si Vice President Leni Robredo. Masipag, marami siyang accomplishment na nakapost sa social media. Naman yung kanyang comment kay Senator Lacson ay sinabihan niya si Senator Lacson na kulang sa on the ground.
What?
Yeah, nag-comment lang naman. So, mayroon tayong freedom of expression. So, yung legislative portfolio, marami rin itong nagawa si Vice President Lenny. Ito yung kanyang on October 5, 2015, after her three daughters set aside their initial objections, Robredo announced that she would run for the post of Vice President of the Philippines under the Liberal Party. So itong si Vice President Lenny has spearheaded programs under the Office of the Vice President. Her anti-poverty program called Angat Buhay benefited 83,707 families across the country and its first year of implementation. In October 2017, the Senate increased the 2018 budget of the Office of the Vice President by 20 million, which was allotted for the Vice President's Angat Buhay program. In the same month, Robredo called on fellow Filipinos to remember the 165 soldiers and police who gave their lives for the liberation of Marawi City. Robredo said her office was already preparing to help the rehabilitation of Marawi City, so primarily through its flagship anti-poverty program. So ito si Vice President Lenny ay during itong pandemic na yung OVP under Robredo provided free shuttle services for the pandemic frontline worker, swab test, telehealth services, and raised funds for relief operations across the country. So the office has also delivered 7,350 personal protective equipments to 9 hospitals, including the San Lazaro Hospital, the Philippine General Hospital, and the Lung Center of the Philippines. A total of 17.3 million was raised for these donations, including the food care packages for the health workers and their families. So Robredo has been a constant victim of memes and fake news articles since taking office in 2016, some of which she claimed emanate from Senate source. Dealing with this, she said, was a test of character. Numerous fake news stories had been manufactured on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and other blog sites against Robredo after she won the vice presidency in 2016. So a portion of which were fabricated by pro-Duterte bloggers. Robredo has demonstrated the falsehood of these statements against her. Fabricated daw ng pro-Duterte.
What?
Ay, yung sabi dito. So, ayan po, maganda rin naman itong mga nagawa ni Vice President Robredo. Kaso lang alam niya na yung mga kulay, no? Binabanggit kong kulay kasi, kaya siyempre, kulay dilaw dati, ngayon kulay pink na. Pero dapat alam niyo mga kababayan, itong kapag kung mamimili tayo ng presidente, At pagkatapos ng eleksyon, sana alisin na natin yung kulay, no? At yung sa panahon ng eleksyon ay ito, mga kababayan, no? Isa sa mga karakter na titingnan natin kapag mamimili ng isa sa pinakamataas na posisyon o pinakamataas na posisyon sa ating bansa ay ang character. Yung kung tulad no, napanood ko yung interview ni Boy Abunda kay Vice President Lenny, kung saan ang tanong ay bakit hindi dapat iboto si Senator Lacson. Ang sagot ay kulang sa on the ground. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin nun? So yung mga comment against dun sa mga kalaban, well, doon mo matitest kung anong character ng isang tao, no? Yung the way siya magsalita, at saka sana, no, iiwasan natin yung maggalangan sana yung mga kandidato natin. Dahil ang dapat ilatag ay yung inyong mga plataforma. So ito yung ating mga presidentiables, ilan to? 10. 1, 2, 10. Ayan yung ating mga presidentiable. So mga kababayan, punta lang kayo dun sa filipinoworldchannel.com at nakapost yan dun sa front page ng website. At kung i-click ninyo yung larawan ay makikita nyo yung mga background nila. So kung titingnan natin, marami tayong pwedeng pagpilian, no? Halos naman lahat ng magagaling. Yun nga lang, medyo may mga bumabanat sa may ilan dito na tumatakbo, kaya tumatakbo dahil ewan ko kung masasabi nating tumatakbo ba para sa mga Pilipino or tumatakbo para dahil against siya doon sa isang politiko o merong pakay ng gantihan. Makikita niyo yung ganyan yung pakay, alam niyo na kung anong gagawin. Ang medyo ito si Bongbong Marcos, si Senator Lacson, si Isko Moreno, yan isa sa mga, kung ako tatanungin, top 3 na pwedeng pagpilian, no? Si Vice President Lenny, medyo yun lang yung kanyang pag-comment laban dun sa kanyang mga kalaban, ay yun isa sa mga medyo konting off. Pero kung sa sipag, masipag naman si Vice President. Yung kanyang trabahong ginagawa. Ito yung kanyang mga anak. Ayan, pwede pagpilian. Vice President Lenny, Bongbong Marcos, Isko Moreno, Senator Lacson. At yung iba pa. Ito si Montemayor, ito, maganda rin yung kanyang background, no? Si Leody, pwede nyo rin pagbigyan as lang medyo kung pagdating sa popularity kapos pa rin siya. Si Isko Moreno ay kilala Si Norberto Gonzales ay tahimik. Medyo kulang yung kanyang campaign. Si Lacson, ayos yan. Si Mangundato Faisal ay medyo kulang pa rin yung kanyang campaign. Dapat itong mga malalaking estasyon dapat bigyan ng pagkakataon lahat, no, hindi lang yung mga kilala. Mag-debate itong 10 presidentiables. Alright, so yan lang po mga kababayan sa pagpili, ang tips lamang sa pagpili ng presidentiables. Tingnan yung education background, yung accomplishment, at yung accomplishment, number 1 yun. At saka yung character. Mahalaga yung character din, kasi doon mo makikita kung paano mo igalang yung iyong kapwa. Kasi pag magalang kasi yung kapwa ay pag ikay nanalo na ay walang kulay-kulay kung sino yung magaling. Tulad ng binabanggit ni Bongbong Marcos na kapag siyang nanalo kahit kalaban bibigyan niya ng posisyon basta't magaling. Ito kaya si Vice President Lenny, gagawin din kaya niya yun. Si Pacquiao may strategy. Ito si Lacson na magaling din tong leader Si Isko din magaling. Kita mo yung Manila, Mayor Isko Moreno, saludo din ako sa iyo. Yung nagawa mo dyan sa Maynila, yung mga hindi nagawa ng mga politiko nun, yung linisin yung Maynila, biro mo. Political will, pwede. Presidential, pwede. Alright, so yan lang po mga kababayan ang ating talakayan tungkol sa mga pagkilala natin sa mga kandidato sa halalan 2022 Philippines at sa darating na Mayo. Alright, so yan lang po muna ang next episode natin. Yung mga vice presidentiables naman kikilalanin natin. Alright, so ito po ang inyong lingkod, Joe Arjaya.
Filipino World Channel.